Here.
Mayor Bernard. Here. Councilmember Obispo Martinez and Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado are absent for the record. Everybody please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. She didn't even hear us. By the good ones.
Mr. Morita, do we have any adjustments to tonight's agenda?
Madam Mayor and Council, there are no adjustments to the agenda.
Thank you. Ms. Shields, did we receive any public comments via email?
No.
Okay, and seeing nobody in the audience, I'm going to assume we have no public comments for tonight. Moving on to A, action items. A1, proclamation of local emergency by the City Council of the City of Imperial related to Hurricane Hillary with Chief Crankshaw.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'll be presenting this matter. As I won't belabor the circumstances surrounding what happened over the weekend with Hurricane Hillary, but that is what brings us here this evening. Under our ordinance and our emergency operation plan, the city manager as incident commander can declare an emergency, but there's also a requirement in the state rules that require council action within a certain number of days of that declaration, and so that's why we're here. The proclamation would basically position us to make application for assistance and reimbursement for the expenses we incurred as a consequence of the storm. Chief Crankshaw is present if you have any questions with respect to the sorts of calls they got. Mr. Lopez was also busy all weekend with various things in terms of our sandbag distribution as well as down trees and whatnot.
For a motion?
Second.
I have a motion by Mendoza and a second by Tucker. Please vote.
Motion carries 3-0.
Moving on to A2, authorize mayor to issue letters opposing adoption of AB 1484 and AB 504 with Mr. Morita.
Mayor and Council, we included this on the special meeting agenda because the folks requesting support of the opposition have some deadlines associated with it. So there are two bills. Assembly Bill 1484 would require that we include temporary employees in bargaining units. As you know, we employ a lot of temporary folks for our summer rec programs. We used temporary employees on an as-needed basis to address specific projects, and I believe, and if you look at the opposition letter, the folks coordinating the opposition effort believe that it would substantially impact the way we do business, and I would agree with that in terms of our ability to provide programs in a cost-efficient way.
Questions or a motion from the council?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Tucker and a second by Mendoza. Please vote.
Motion carries 3-0.
Item A3, approval of resolution number 2023-53 declaring an emergency action at Ayton and Cross Lift Station.
Was there second? Sorry, was the intent both? There's second opposition.
Yes, it was for both.
Yes, for both.
Second one was on a little different subject having to do with strikes, but
Oh.
if the motion included both, then I'll leave it at that.
Perfect.
So I think with respect to item A3, as the staff report indicates, we have a lift station at that location, 8 and Cross, and a discharge pipe. As you can see, it blew out. I saw a video, and basically what that meant was the waste material that would normally be carried through the lift station into the main pipe to be carried to the waste treatment plant, well, was no longer making the connection to the main line. And so, if we didn't take immediate and emergency action, that well would have overflowed, and not a good thing. And so, we proceeded on an emergency basis to address that so that, people in that area would continue to have sewer service, and, they thought they could have at minimum a temporary fix, in relatively short order. But again, given the opportunity that special me, I felt like I should bring it to you so, you would know about it. The rate of the flow was such that our Vector truck operating by itself would not have been able to keep up. That is, the Vector truck could evacuate the well, but by the time it made its way to an alternate drop point and then back again, we didn't think it would be possible. So they had two other tankers, I think, involved in the effort to try to keep up with the flow.
Is there any way, like, so I guess what I'm trying to ask is for like these lift stations, do we, like inspect them on a regular basis?
So, dating back, if you'll recall what happened at the wastewater treatment plant with manholes where there started to be a sinkhole because manholes where the waste from the entire city collects were failing. What we discovered is that, the expected life expectancy of these facilities, manholes, and lift stations, we've undertaken to try to get ahead of it, because not only with its situation with lift stations is a little bit more rare than with our manholes. The only thing in discussions with Mr. Loper, one hypothesis, if you will, is that because of all the water conservation going on, that the concentration of the waste material going into the manholes and the lift stations might be causing, premature wear. He said that the typical manhole is expected to last decades, and it's a fraction of that is what they're experiencing. Long answer to your question is yes, because of those things, the waste water folks have indeed been implementing a program to inspect and try to get ahead of these things.
And is it fixed now? Is it currently fixed, or is it in the process, or?
The last I heard is that they had a temporary
Oh,
fix
okay.
in place, and they were, I say temporary, they were hoping the fix that they implemented would enable them to, permanently, if you will, repair the problem at this particular lift station. Whether or not that's been accomplished, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
At least at this point, we're not having to pump and take it elsewhere.
Transport.
Do you have a motion or a second? Second.
I'll second.
Motion by Mendoza and a second by Tucker, please vote.
Motion carries 3-0.
And with that, I adjourn this regular meeting of City Council until next regularly scheduled meeting to be held on Wednesday, September 6th, 2023 at 7 p.m. And this meeting is adjourned at 6:25 p.m.